Welcome back to the hills. It's episode 7 of the Ammo podcast. We're getting late into May now. It's May 23rd here in Western North Carolina. We've been done here for a few weeks. I just got back from Tennessee this past weekend. There will be no footage of that coming up, and I'll explain why here in a little while. Kind of the whole reason I'm coming to you today on this little spiel of me running my mouth. So season's ending for most of you guys. If you're way up north or maybe, northwest or any of those areas, you might have a little bit of time left. But if you're in the general eastern seaboard area, it's done. I mean, turkey season's, it's over. And I'm not going to lie, it's probably the saddest time of my year. Obviously, it's not that dramatic, but it's definitely one of my least favorite times of the year. It's kind of comical that the beginning of turkey season I look forward to more than anything in the year's course, and then the end of turkey season is the thing I look least forward to throughout the course of the year. So everything has its time, right? Everything has its place, but I think some of the most important things we can do as turkey hunters or hunters in general or outdoorsmen in general is at the end of the season, take time to reflect. And so basically that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to record myself reflecting. That way next season when it rolls around, hopefully you can watch this again, or if, your season's getting ready to roll around. If you're watching this in the future, hopefully you can take what I'm about to say, and kind of implement it into your own routine, your own thought process, if you will, into your turkey hunting endeavors. So to say that this year was a failure would be a lie. You can probably see behind me, I have some fans drying now. I have my sons, Jake, back there, a few birds for myself. So in the sense of harvesting, right, if we're going to base success completely off of a tag being filled, I was successful a couple times, actually. But I don't base success off of that, and I never have, and I never will. I mean, there was times, and I'm sure it'll happen again, where tag soup was a pretty common thing, right? Years of not harvesting animals, and whatever it may be, whether it's turkeys, deer, heck, even going out fly fishing, there's days where it's not going to happen. So success is not, like I said, necessarily the harvesting of an animal, the killing of an animal, the catching of a fish, whatever the case is. That is not success. Success is, did I enjoy my time while afield or on the water? And I'll be honest with you, and I've spoke of it already here on the channel. There were times I lost sight of that, and there was times that I kind of lost track of what I was doing out there, and as far as the purpose of what I was doing. So when in terms of, was this my best season yet? I mean, I killed a lot of turkeys, but it by no means was my best season. I've talked about Helene, the effects of Helene, so I'll cut through that and not go into that too terribly much. But I think the biggest factor of it was I was putting too much pressure on myself to get the cool content or the cool footage or whatever it was. And I'll be honest with you, the most fun I had was those Kentucky birds where I finally said, screw it, and I put the camera away. Like, screw the YouTube thing, screw self-filming. Like, let's just go out here and get back one-on-one with it. So maybe you have something like that in your hunting endeavors where it's like you're putting pressure on yourself to do it for a reason other than the love of doing it. And I mean, it's not necessarily a bad thing to have like sub goals, if you will. The main goal is to enjoy my time in the woods, enjoy what God created around me, and enjoy the beauty of all of it, because I love spring. I mean, spring is my favorite time of year. I love it. So that's like my main goal, right? And then my first sub goal should be to harvest turkey for sustenance, food, wall decor. I don't care what people say. I mean, yes, food is the primary reason we kill them, but wall decor is a big plus, right? And then I should be worried about my other thing. So in my case, getting film or creating content or whatever that is. And I think I got that wish washed this year. Like I got it all out of order on what I should have been focusing on. I don't think I know. I know I did. I'm very guilty of it, and I'm having to basically face myself in the mirror with it. Like kind of wasted some opportunities on some great hunts there. And maybe that's not pertaining to you in the sense of self-filming, but maybe it's like you and your buddies have a biggest bird contest going on and you take it too far. You get too wrapped up in like, oh, I gotta chase this, unicorn of a turkey that doesn't exist so I can beat my buddies. Like, nah, that's probably gonna cost you some good memories, some good time. And I don't think it's worth it. I truly don't. I don't think it'll ever be worth it, to be honest with you. Because at the end of the day, like we're not playing a game with this animal. That's one of my least favorite things is game animal. I don't like that. And not to sound like, not this whole cliche thing, because you've heard it on social media all the time, but it really does irritate me that we have established this like common thing of calling them game animals, because it's not a game. Like we're taking something's life. That is a necessity for life, right? I mean, not to get all philosophical on you here, but like all life takes life to sustain. It doesn't matter if you're a vegetarian, a vegan, strictly carnivore. It does not matter. Life takes life to sustain. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed, right? So you have to have life to continue life. Whether that's plant, animal, blah, blah, blah. I'm getting a little carried away here. But regardless, putting something in front of what is going on, which is the circle of life. And this isn't some religion spiel, but it doesn't matter what you believe in. There is a circle to this thing we call life. Whether you believe in a higher power or not, no one on this planet can deny that, things live, things die, and new things are born, right? Like that's just how it goes. And this is very opinionated right here. And if you don't agree with this, it's okay. This isn't like fact. Like you have to believe this or you're not a real hunter. But the beauty of what hunting is we are contributing to the circle of life, right? Like we are becoming a predator. We are going in to a primitive and natural place. And we are contributing to, unfortunately and fortunately, death. We are contributing to that last leg of the circle before it flips completely around. And I think we have to pause and realize that and really take that in and let it sink and let it marinate on the fact that, we have social media and we have all these things that like glorify the sport of it. And that's fine and well. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, obviously, or I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing right now, talking to a camera and a microphone. But we have to step back and realize like, hey, this is like final if we get the end goal that we want. And we need to pause and we need to like truly soak that in and embrace it for what it is and the beauty of it. There's so much beauty in all of it though, right? Especially springtime. And that kind of like with the whole spring thing, that's the reason I love spring so much, is because I'm basically getting to see that whole circle of life in a hunt. If I punch a tag, I see the whole circle of life, right? Because I'm watching spring in general bring new life, right? The green up that we have, animals coming out of hibernation. Depending on how late your season goes, you may get to see a newborn fawn, example after example. And then throughout the morning of the hunt itself, getting to watch the woods, watch and listen to the woods wake up in the morning, getting to experience this whole thing. And there's such a serious like beauty to it. That's the part that I feel like as hunters, everybody asks like, why do you love hunting so much? And we always have a hard time putting that into words. And that still isn't like the full explanation of it. And I don't think anyone will ever be able to explain that. I know that it is something that you have to experience. It's not something that I can write in a book and you read it and take it in. It's not something that I can speak into a microphone or to even to someone in person. I'll never be able to like actually put it into a feasible thought that I can communicate to another human being. That's physically impossible. You have to be there. You have to be in it. You have to see it. You have to feel it. Like if you're a hunter, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That feeling that you get, like externally, internally, spiritually, mentally. I mean, it's unexplainable, right? And if you're a hunter, you're probably nodding your head and agreeing with me right now. But then we lose that, and for whatever that reason may be, that's when it becomes almost a bloodlust. That's not really the right word to say it, and don't feel like I'm attacking you because I'm speaking to myself right now. Like I can literally see myself in this camera right now. I'm speaking to myself. Okay. But the second we stop prioritizing that portion of it, the second that we prioritize the kill or chasing, the footage or the clout, the Instagram photo, the bragging rights at hunting camp, whatever it is that we're putting in front of that feeling, that's when we lose it. I had a phenomenal turkey season this year as far as experiences and education go. I get on here through both my podcast and my normal vlogs, and I harp on learning lessons, things that we can take away from every hunt, and how, mistakes aren't mistakes. It's an educational purpose or an educational experience. That is, me, let this get in the way of that. I let the camera get in the way of just slowing down and taking it in. And now that season is over, I'm like, it's smacking me in the face like, hey man, you just spent a month and a half. And don't get me wrong, like I had some excellent days in the field, even with the camera in my hand. Like I'm not saying it was all bad. I'm not going, woe is me, have pity on me. There's none of that going on. I am not complaining about my season in the sense that, oh, I didn't enjoy any of it, I'm going to hang it up. No, absolutely not. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just taking the time to share with you like what I learned, and that is that I have to be careful chasing my dream, which is to bring to you guys what I do here in the Appalachian Mountains. I have to be careful to not let that get in front of what it is that this is all about. And that goes for all of us, right? All of us. I've given examples so far, but I mean, it's just like, if you've been on here, I talked about the turkey that I didn't have patience. I had a video of it. You can go back a few videos and see it, but there was a turkey. I was working this tom, two toms actually, and I knew they were the hens because I was listening to the hens talk in the tree. And I was trying to figure out which way the hens were going to go because I knew those toms were more interested in those hens because they were within eyesight of each other. Turkeys hit the ground. I didn't do enough scouting. That was the first mistake I made, which that doesn't really pertain to what I'm speaking of today. That's for another day. But those birds take off. I didn't think I stood a chance with the way they were going. I didn't think I stood a chance to get around them and in front of them because of Helene. So I hear another bird off, probably, goodness, he couldn't have been but 300-400 yards away. Maybe a little bit more. I'll give myself a little credit. Well, I cut the distance on it. I boogie. I get down there. I hit my call one time. I hear a little hen yelp, and I'm thinking, nope, this is game over. So because I was worried about, all right, it's getting still. I know there's birds gobbling over here. Let's go work them. I hightailed it back to where I was originally that morning. And as soon as I got back to the little trail that goes back to where those birds were, I hear him gobble. The one that I heard 300-400 yards away. When I heard him gobble, he was about 150 yards away, exactly where I was standing. In my mind, I thought he was. So I said, oh, crap. Let's turn around and go back there. So I booked it, and I was on this little gravel road, and I'm booking it, keeping my head around the corner, thinking I'm getting ready to run into him. I get to where I was standing. I can see my boot track. And over the top of the boot track is his track, plus lines in the sand where he had been strutting looking for me. Story goes on. He gobbles back again. It was a whole thing. But the whole point of me getting long-winded there was to say, if I would have stopped and done what I normally do when it comes to turkeys, I'd have stopped, sat down, maybe had a sip of water, threw a pinch of snuff in, enjoyed the morning and the beauty of it. Not only would I have got the footage that I was looking for to begin with, which is the whole thing that created this angst in me where I felt like I had to hustle back and get on those birds that were gobbling so I could have good footage. Not only would I have killed that bird, got that footage, but I would have killed that bird. I would have threw him over my shoulder, made the mile hike out of there, and this entire conversation would be completely different, and I'd be giving you guys tactics on sitting tight whenever they're tight-lipped. Because I knew, granted, this is forethought. In the moment, obviously, my brain was just not where it needed to be, but I know deep down, if I hear him gobble, because he gobbled by himself, mind you, he was not gobbling to me. He gobbled by himself, so he was a fired up turkey. So I knew eventually he was going to work with me. Those other two toms, I knew they were getting pulled by those hens way over onto the neighbor's side. I might have caught up to them around lunchtime, but I should have left it alone, and I should have stuck to my guns. These 20 plus years of hunting have taught me and enjoyed it. But no, I let a priority get trumped by something that's irrelevant. In the grand scheme of things, me running a camera is irrelevant. In the grand scheme of things, you having a bigger turkey than your buddy is irrelevant. Or that Instagram photo, or hell, even having a turkey in general, like that is so irrelevant for what we do as turkey hunters. You can go to the daggum grocery store and buy a turkey. Now, granted, I'm pretty biased. I always prefer wild turkey. But the fact is, you can go to the grocery store and buy food for a hell of a lot cheaper than you can turkey hunt. Nobody can argue that with me. With the cost of tags and shells, and it doesn't matter if you're shooting lead or TSS, shells are still expensive these days. Gas, you got to eat on your hunt at least at some point in time. It's expensive. So don't tell me that I have to kill to be. No, you don't. Like, this is not what it's about. It's not about the kill. It's not about the camera. It's not about the clout. It's about being a part of the circle of life. And I know I'm kind of preaching and I'm on my soapbox right now. And I can get on my soapbox about a lot of things, but I want you to know I am preaching to myself right now in hopes that maybe it'll save you the heartache that I'm going through / went through this spring. So Tennessee, I told you I'd talk about that. We got down or up to Tennessee on Thursday evening. Saw some deer. It was not a bad trip. And I doubt you can hear it through the microphone, but there was technically 4 big factors that made Tennessee a total bust. But it was enjoyable because I turned my camera on 3 times the entire time. And I got to do exactly what I've been talking about this entire podcast and just be in the moment. But Friday or Saturday that we were there, it was okay. Friday morning, it was really overcast. And if you heard anything about the tornadoes that tore up Kentucky a little while back, so what, a week ago? Yeah, a week ago, which it'll be like 2 weeks ago by the time I post this. But anyways, those tornadoes that were coming through, we were catching the bottom of that weather front, and Friday was a bust. Saturday, wake up to absolute pouring rain. Just because I already had turkeys, I wasn't going to go sit out and be miserable in it. And then when that rain finally broke off, brood 17, believe. No, I don't, not brood 17. I don't know what brood it is. Let me not talk on things I don't know about. Regardless, cicadas are out of the ground. And where we were, they screamed so loud, I could literally run my box call, which is loud. I mean, my box screams, and it would get muffled instantly through the sound of cicadas. So we packed it up. I don't really like to deer hunt turkeys. I like to hunt a gobbling turkey. So we packed it up, headed west, got out west. We saw a few turkeys, nothing gobbled. And then we packed it up and headed home. And I thought about all this on the drive home of, you could have had so much better of a time, speaking to myself, you could have had so much better of a time if you would have remembered what order the priorities to go. And I hope you don't forget what order your priorities go. If you disagree with me on what's important to you in hunting, perfectly fine. But A, you got to be honest with yourself on what's the most important thing. And as long as you're as long as you are 100% honest with yourself, you have to remember to keep that at the top. Okay? And don't put anything else in front of it. Right? Like if family tradition, like hunting this stand on such and such day is really, really important to you, but you know, like, I got a buck moving 200 yards down, and you end up going and hunting that stand down there, you shoot that buck, I guarantee you that you would not enjoy that buck as much as you could or should. If that's your priority. Like, I hope you're sticking with me on that. Like, if your priority is that's like me, I have a piece of property I hunt on Thanksgiving. And when the day comes that I kill a deer somewhere else on Thanksgiving morning, I guarantee you I will not enjoy that deer as much as I should. Granted, that's not my priority, but I hope you're tracking what I'm saying there. As long as you are honest with what is your priorities and the order that they are in, and you stick to those, you're good to go. But the second you start flip-flopping those around for something irrelevant like a Instagram photo, you lost it. And this isn't like to scare you. This is just my personal observation. I think if I lost it too many times, like if I went through what I went through this season too many times, it might have the ability to pull me out of the woods. Because the feeling that I had on May 2nd in Kentucky was horrible. Like, I've heard of people who have lost their love for hunting, and I thought to myself, there's zero chance that would ever happen to me. For a very split second, I felt what that feels like, and screw that. So that's my forewarning. Like, I hope you're actually paying attention to that, because that's not a good feeling. If you're an outdoorsman or woman, that is not a good feeling, and I don't wish it upon anybody. So, regardless, I hope you got some good information out of this. Like I said, this is mostly for me in the future, so I can go back and listen to this and remind myself, like, hey, keep your priorities straight. But if it helps anybody else out, that's awesome too. That is the entire purpose of this channel, is to show you guys what we do here, kind of educate you guys. I don't really like using that word because you guys can come learning on your own, but regardless, educate you guys on what we do here and hopefully inspire a few of you guys to keep going through the bad times, right? Like, that's just what we're all about here in the hills. So if you did get something good out of it, please hit that like button. Helps me out a lot. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and leave a comment. it doesn't even really have to pertain to anything. Just talk to your local, your fellow hunters on here. I think that's something that we miss. We can all get on here and bash each other negatively, but I don't ever hear hey, I killed such and such, and then everybody getting on there and going, good job, man, that's awesome. And I think that's what we're missing in the hunting community, and I think we need to bring that back. So like I said, pop down there and leave me a comment and let me know how y'all's spring went. But until next time, see you on the hill.